Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Bar Tonight. I am your beautiful, exciting host, Myri Nick Siobhan. I'm back, folks, and I've brought with me tonight some of my favorite people. I wanted to introduce you all to some barons and baronesses that have been either new to us because they stepped up during the COVID or because they stepped up right before, and we haven't really had a chance to get to know them. So I've invited them all here tonight. We have from Aquaterra, Baroness Sheikha Zara Al-Bint Rama. We have, of course, the lovely and talented Baroness of Blatha. She's Welsh, so I like her a whole lot. And then our favorite cute couple, Baroness Diza and Baron Alistair. We all know them. We all love them. They've been on the show before, but they've said that they would come back and rejoin us. So thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. It's nice to see you. And they're very quiet. I think they're waiting patiently for me to tell you all the Scadian news. I wanted them to be a part of this since we've been alone and apart from everyone for so long. So tonight, really, it's just been a few weeks since we've all been together, so there's not much to report, although virtual events have been continuing. Classes, whole universities, Atlantia had a huge event. We had a huge event here. ITHRA, Collegium, Athenaeum is coming up. There's been virtual fight discussions, Scadian of shows like this, sewing circles, socials, virtual bardics. So really just about anything you kind of think of. So if you're not seeing those events, please reach out to your seneschals or your beautiful barons and baronesses and ask how you can be a part of this just amazing virtual events that are going on, because it's pretty exciting and we want to see your faces there more often rather than not. There's been a bit of, well, I hate to say it, but it's a little bit of disturbing news on the Scadian front. King Christian has been, like the King James of Scotland, going about in disguise, pretending to be someone he isn't so that he could be amongst his people like a pauper. But I want to bring up this. I don't think that he understands the disguise he's pulled up here. Folks, if you could take a look at this. Now, one of these men is King Christian, and one of them is, of course, famous actor Christopher Hemsworth. Now, I know it's hard to tell who's who, but perhaps whoever is on King Christian's makeup team could explain to him that if he's going to grow a mustache, he's got to make sure to watch every Chris Hemsworth movie. Otherwise, he's going to clearly make the same mistake. What do you think, folks? Is he fooling anybody?
I mean, do you mean, is he?
Do we believe that he's in disguise here? Because I'm not entirely certain that you actually pulled up photos of different people.
I agree.
I was wondering.
It's exactly. This could both be Chris Hemsworth. But if it is the king, I would just like to ask, put on a shirt. Your reign of nipple terror cannot continue. It's cold out there. You're going to put an eye out.
We're going to hang it.
It's Canada, for Christ's sake.
I don't know. It was cold enough here last week.
Oh, we had quite a bit of snow. Now, as I said, I've introduced you all. We've got we don't have an ABC. It's like an ABD. Damn it. No. Glymm Mere, ABG. Damn. All right, never mind. It's fine. But I'm so excited to have you all here, and I'm hoping we can discuss just all kinds of interesting Scadian facts about yourselves and get to know you a little better and help the rest of Antir get to know you as well. So I'd like to start by asking my bevy of lovely beauties here, and I'm sorry if I make His Excellency Alistair feel uncomfortable.
I'm used to being token.
Yeah. You're the token baron, it's fine. Which baroness is the evil one? Okay.
I will point out that I have been seen both in the FCA and at conventions dressed in villainess garb and in villain garb. So therefore I must be the evil one. I also promote shenanigans.
Would you ladies like to counter that?
Well, I've been known for over a decade as the instigator, and I can promise you there are many stories out there of me getting a lot of people involved in a lot of shenanigans. At one point, we may have had 8 people all go get tattooed at once. because I suggested it.
Did you storm a court with the peasants?
What was that?
Did you storm a court with the peasants?
We haven't had any courts yet that are online.
There have been neither.
Baroness Isabeau and Sheikh Yusuf were Baron and Baroness at the time. And it was at the Ording site. And we invaded court as peasants, rabble rousing.
That sounds like a pretty strong argument. Sheikha, do you have an argument for why you're the evil Baroness?
No, it's perfectly fine that they be the evil ones.
That's true. I think I'll give this one to Her Excellency Anharad.
Well, my follow-up question was who was the shenanigator, but I feel like we're going to have a continued argument on that point as well.
No, they can have it. It's fine.
I think in all fairness,
You're also a daughter of Loki, so we can't quite fully believe that one.
If you want the title, far be it from me to take it from you.
no, I'm afraid that there seem to be some members of Her Excellency Anharad's populace that have done quite well at taking the shenanigan title for themselves. It would be hard pressed for any of us to match that level of effort.
Yes, but they are such tasty shenanigans.
This is true.
All right, well, if we know who the evil one is, then does that make Sheikh Azara the good Baroness?
Absolutely.
An angel on high. Look at that face.
What else could she be?
She's never gotten into any trouble. She's never started any shenanigans.
Never.
Never.
Or just a lot better at covering her tracks.
Listen, my feeling is hurt. Just the one. My feeling is hurt.
My deepest apologies.
So, speaking of baronesses and barons, who has the handsomest baron with them at their side? Not currently, but in general.
I was going to say, if it's currently, it's obviously Disa.
Mine is here now, so I think I win that one.
He's the only one here, so therefore, for that, otherwise, I'd have to side with Zara because, of course, Sir Gerlach is my best friend. My best friend for many years. I have very.
Yes, but who lives with you?
That's true. He is your old housemate. He's your flatmate. Alistair was your flatmate. And to be fair, you have a chocolate box of best friends to pick from. You have like a variety of best friends from all over different areas. So I think that title's used quite a bit. But we'll go ahead and give Alistair this one as the most handsome baron. I think that's only fair.
He's here. And he dresses himself
That's true.
very nicely. He makes his own.
He does.
All right. Speaking of clothing, which baroness has the best clothing? Best garb?
I think we all do. Because it depends upon what parameters you are using.
That's true.
Zara is an icon of perfection in her Persian.
Thank you.
Oh dear, we have matching cups. Say Sheikh Azara.
She's also the only one in Persian because the other three of us are all in 14th century right now.
Correct.
True.
And we have matching headbands. All right. I think if I were to choose, I would be hard pressed between all of you. I would want to steal more of Anharat's clothing, so I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Anharat. She's the winner in my eyes. Oh, who has the best hair out of the baronesses?
Again, that's going to vary because right now you can see none of our hair because we are appropriately veiled.
That's true. Do you mean hairstyles or do you mean real hair? Or, I mean, there's a lot of.
Because if you're going to go by the amount of hair, then we have to go to see who has the most hair pieces. And in that case, I'm probably going to win because of the cosplay aspect.
We will really want to compare wig collections.
You match my 5-drawer file cabinet that holds just wigs.
I don't own a wig. I don't own any of them. I just have a lot of hair.
This is all mine. It's all real.
I think Disa wins.
Disa wins. That That's fair. That's fair. So the relationship between your three baronies is a close one. I'm going to start with Shekazar. I mean, you've all been around for a long time, but Shekazar, I find you the most interesting because I have a crush on you. But you you lived in Glymm Mere. Yes, thank you. You lived in Glymm Mere, and then you played in both Glymm Mere and Blatha very heavily. You were an officer in Blatha, and I think possibly in Glymm Mere as well, but I know definitely. No? Okay. Well, you lived there, you played with us, you met a handsome man, you fell in love, you moved to Aquaterra, and now you're the Baron and Baroness of Aquaterra. And a lot has changed since the last time we sat down and spoke, including my accent. There's a lot going on with you, I think, maybe, that I've heard about. There it is.
Maybe.
And there's the pitter patter of little feet. I hear that you have quite the animal collection now.
The cats still don't do any retinue appropriately, though.
You expect cats to do that? Cats
Runa trained her cat. Did you see this? Runa has her cat trained. Mine, not so much.
yes, but look at the variety of cat. Ragdolls are not going to be the same.
No.
To be fair, most cats usually are on the other side of it and expect the rest of us to be their retinue.
Oh, yes, because Bostet told them that.
True.
True.
We can see you.
We can see you.
Like, everybody froze. I don't know. What was the question?
Oh, the question was, how did you stumble upon the SCA?
Oh, good gracious. Mumble years ago in a small little town, I met a boy who mentioned that there was this medieval thing that he was into and that maybe I would like it too, because who didn't want to be a pretty princess? And I went to a meeting for the Marsh of Glintarian, and then I played there for a bit and liked it, stuck around, moved across country because life happened. There's a marvelous little Janie. And then started playing here in Ontario.
And you've been here now for mumble years.
Yes.
Fair. And I know Baroness Anharad's story, but I love hearing it. Can you tell us how you discovered the SCA?
Hers is way better.
Yes, well, we're going to go back into the 80s, early 80s, as I was in marching band and performing with my middle school at Viking Fest. And of course, we have the Norse folk that come and play and do things with that. And there were some that were participating in the parades. And then a little bit later that year, I saw them putting up signs for this medieval event. And it was near my school. And I kind of snuck out to go see what it was. And after being chastised for not being in school, started playing and going through, and it was a lot of fun, and I was hooked. I just didn't actually come out openly to my family about it until after I had graduated high school.
Wow. So you were able to get to events as a young teenager without your parents knowing?
Like one a year.
Fair.
Plus walking around at other parts, of parades that marching band was at, and then seeing those. But in the 80s, it was really easy to be a Welsh male because all I had to do was have the one tunic, which I still have, and it still fits. It's purple tropical weight wool. Imagine that, it's purple. But I could wear it with leggings and the suede boots, and I was Llewellyn. Years later, my youngest brother also chose the same name.
Not at all confusing.
Well, he doesn't play in Ontario. He doesn't really play much down in Aitonville either, but he did.
I could just imagine that conversation. Oh yeah, Llewellyn, hot. Dated that one for a while. You did? Oh, tell me more about that. Wait a minute. Which Llewellyn are we talking about?
We won't go into the discussion of the people trying to purchase him while he was a minor. back when there was still things like, clench a wench or squeeze a squire, depending on who you liked.
Yeah, no. We'll just skip over that terrible history. Baron Al and Baroness Disa, how did you two discover the SCA separately on your own, not together?
Not together. No. Many years. Well, not many years apart, actually. We found the SCA.
But a few miles apart.
Yeah, a few miles. But we found the SCA within about a year of each other, but not each other. So that was many years later, like a decade.
Something like that.
Something like that. So I actually had some friends when I was in high school that drove by the Thurston County Fairgrounds that are just down from our house. And they saw this really cool thing happening, and they went in and checked it out. And they decided to, invite me along and it was Mayfair that they went to. And they decided to invite me along to the next one, and it was my birthday. So it was my 17th birthday present. My mom made me a dress and gave me a tent and took me and my friends there, gave me $50 and dropped me off.
Wow.
Just a bunch of minors
Those
wandering
were
the
days.
event. It was the 90s.
Yeah.
So that's how I discovered the SCA. That was June Fair, and it was in Paulsbo. And the tent didn't have all its poles, and it was quite an adventure. But I walked by a Norse A-frame tent that was kind of open, and I peeked inside, and it looked so incredible, and I was hooked. That was it. So that was it for me. Your turn.
So I found the SCA in Aitenville. I played a lot of various role-playing games, D&D, a bunch of other ones while I was going from 6th grade on up, and had a bunch of friends. And prior to moving to Arizona, I had some friends that had gone to a Ren Fair and seen people fighting. I don't know what group they were with. So we used to go out there, and we didn't know about PVC lining. So we were using like closet rods with foam on them, and bashing and crashing on each other. And of course, what's armor? So I got to Arizona for school, and one of my friends was actually out there, actually two of them. And one of them that I worked with met somebody at his work. So we got this gaming group. You should come check it out. They go to like science fiction and fantasy conventions, and they do parties and themed stuff, and it's great. So I got involved with that group, and they were, there's some really cool parties. Well, there's this big medieval thing we're gonna go to. You'll need some guards. You should probably go to that. So I had some other friends who helped me put some garb together, and I went to this event called Estrella. So that was my first ever event.
Mine too.
Not quite as crazy
Mine
as
too.
as
Wait, what year? What year?
a Penzic, but I want to say
What year did you go to Australia?
94 or 95.
I was 96.
So yeah, I went there and stayed in a giant 3-story purple and orange tent, and thought these people were kind of crazy, but this is cool. So and then over time, I became one of the crazy ones, and here I am.
And the interesting, very interesting fact is the people that introduced me to the SCA and the people that one of the people that introduced you to the SCA now both live in the soon to be official canton in Glymm Mere. So that's pretty cool.
Congratulations to them, by the way, Disa. I know they've been working really hard on getting that.
I know. We're so excited. We're it's a super exciting dancing moment.
Yes.
Right.
It's exciting to see it continue to grow, definitely. And it ebbs and flows. Cantons might shut down and other ones might open up, but it's great that yours is opening up. I think that there are some other ones right now that are struggling to stay afloat. So it's really exciting to see another small group form, and people have that passion to keep the game going in their area. Is wonderful.
And they've worked so hard.
They are right by the ocean, so the ebb and flow is sort of natural.
So bad, dear.
Well, it is
Careful, they do
Respectable
virtual woeings now.
I
virtual dodge.
I should start giving everyone chickens to throw at the screen.
hmm.
No, I'm not authorized for that.
So what's the furthest any of you have ever traveled for an SCA event?
Canada. That's it.
What
I traveled out here for 40 year from the middle.
Oh.
I went
And
to
Baroness
Penzic.
Angharot, you said what now?
I went to Penzic from Utah.
Yeah.
I was in college and I was still military, so it was really easy to go back then.
September Crown last year in Canada.
No. Ontario West. Ontario West is
Is it
farther.
farther?
Yeah.
Well, one of those. I've never actually been to an event outside the kingdom.
I think when I traveled from here to Ontario, when my husband and I left from Tacoma to Ontario West, it was further than when I lived in California and drove to Estrella.
Yeah.
I think it was a longer drive.
Well,
It's
if
also
you
a
reach
lot
Hawaii,
straighter.
yeah.
Yeah. It's straighter and kind of
I mean, it's almost a perfect shot. You just take the freeway, keep going straight, and then you make a right-hand turn depending on what side it's at, and you're there. As opposed to going down to Ontario West from here, and it's like over here and over there and around and loop-de-loop and go corkscrew and left foot in.
And then you might fall off into the ocean and it's kind of freaky when you're going over that bridge and you're like, oh God, why am I doing this? It's not worth it. Yeah, no, I remember.
but then it is. But then it totally is.
We had to leave early. You all know the story of why. So for me, it was like,
Yeah.
it was exciting to get down there and see everybody, but man, yeah, it ended up, I'm glad we left when we did, but. So I have a question from our friends at Griffin Eye News. They'd like to know, why are you all afraid of traveling to Avacol, and are the mountains really that high?
We were planning on going. And then COVID happened. So that was on our list of events. We were going to go to Quad War this last year. And we will go to Quad War once there is a Quad War again.
Okay.
That's our answer.
Okay.
I've never been invited.
Oh,
Okay. Did you hear that, Avacol?
The last time Avacol had, when it was closed, I was hosting Embers.
Yeah.
I kind of have to stay with my branch if my branch is running an event, since we're far apart.
True.
Bad form to leave my own event and then without a coronet.
Is that the one I was running? Probably.
Well, there's also a fine line between visit and invade. You got to be really careful with these things, or
True.
It's true.
there.
I'm Clan Corn as well. So really, is there a difference?
Well, I gotta say, right around the beginning of COVID, it was really interesting because we happened to be down at the market picking up some things, and what do we see but this giant imposing figure wandering through a market in Glymm Mere? Something about picking up game and needing a cooler to get it back. And what do they call that guy? Really big guy?
The murder giant.
Murder giant. Yeah. It's
Oh,
almost like
yes.
he was shouting us or something.
Yeah.
It was really strange. Like he was trying to avoid noticing, but I mean, when you're a giant, that's hard to do.
Yes.
He's the closest thing we have to Andre, and I swear to God, if I can get Kaz to say, anybody want a peanut on the battlefield, I'm gonna be so goddamn happy.
Maybe we should make it a point, start covertly spreading the word, and just everyone start handing him peanuts at the first event you see him at.
I think he might be up for it. Unless he's cranky and it's,
Hey, don't piss off my seneschal, please.
eh. We run through seneschals like butter. It's fine. We'll get to the new one in a few years.
This is the new one. He stepped up yesterday.
Well, now you know that she already has a goal.
And I've already, since I last saw everybody, become the bardic champion of a different barony. So I'm over there now.
But
Speaking
you
of
did
baronies,
You promised me.
promise I've been bardic champion of Blatha and Oir.
Yes, but you're also my courtier.
Damn it, that's right. I owe her fealty. Speaking of baronies, which one is bigger? And does size really
Mine.
matter? Oh,
Yes.
Populous or land?
Or personality.
I like that one.
Oh, look what we have.
Wait a minute, let's see. I don't know if this actually shows it. No, this is just like, we've got a map. It doesn't really work too well for this.
Well, okay, so it's this way. Okay, well, yeah.
It's not
No,
a
it doesn't
camera.
have borders.
You
It
gotta
doesn't
get-
have borders, sadly. Yeah.
Mere has huge. Never mind.
Personality.
Personality.
We'll go with that.
I hear it's a silly place.
Hmm.
This is very silly.
There are times.
Very, very silly. That's okay. It's very Monty Python of you. All right, who feels they have, and I know this is going to stir up some emotions because I've got some heralds here in the room. Which barony has the best heraldry?
Again, do you mean arms, or do you mean like our vocal heralds, or do you mean our book heralds? I
My
mean,
father,
I think
the find your equal as Scotswoman is forced to talk to God. God says, "Stop stalling and answer the fucking question."
I think that we all have wonderful imagery in our heraldry. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I
Everyone's
love
being
all
too nice
heraldry.
right now. I want some wigs pulled off. Come on, I want you to take off the earrings, kick off the shoes. Stop being so nice.
I'm not wearing
But
shoes.
I love these
I
ladies.
don't like wearing shoes most of the time.
Oh no, I don't either.
No. Although I will point out, Zara has her heraldry behind her, and I'm wearing mine.
Right.
So
But look, we painted our dining room yellow.
How does that count?
personal heraldry, not the
That's
baronial
personal
heraldry.
heraldry, not baronial.
but I am still wearing baronial heraldry on there too, because I've got my belt on. And I'm not in the other room where I would have my baronial flag up. It's just in the office. It's a little difficult to put up.
Mhm.
So should I mention that during our commercial break,
Yes.
I mentioned to His Excellency Aquaterra that we had awarded the best looking Baron to Baron Alistair because he was here. His Excellency Aquaterra is offended.
Oh, well,
But
perhaps if His Excellency of Aquaterra would like to join us, we could have that debate.
He's laughing off screen.
Of course he is.
It's an open invitation. He's also a friend of mine and of their excellencies. I mean, we're all friends here. So no pressure for him to.
Are we?
Are we though?
Yeah,
Are we friends though? Really?
I have it in writing. We're friends.
Oh yeah, you do, don't you?
I'm wearing a
You do.
necklace that says we're friends.
I think it's time
I'm
for
pretty
trial
sure I
by
have pictures
stone.
of all of us at dinner together.
Yeah.
So at least
And nobody died.
It's true. We were all at dinner and no one died.
So you all must really
I'm
be
going
friends.
to hire a new poisoner.
His Excellency Aquaterra has cooked for my family on more than one occasion, so I do consider him a friend because he cooks for me.
yes, but you want our children to marry each other.
I want to have good-looking grandbabies.
I think
It's not actually you she wants, she just wants your genetics.
Well, you know.
Science has control over that.
I can't marry your cat, Your Excellency, or your dog. Although
Nor would I ask you to.
we do love Coco very much over here at Castle Blackwood. Coco is adorable.
He is an adorable derpy meat muffin.
who poops more than any dog I've ever seen in my entire life across my backyard on my goddamn dahlias. It's a lot of shit.
He thought they were pretty, so he claimed them.
No, you either get on camera or you get out of the room, Your Excellency.
Hey, this is my room.
Virtually, it's ours.
You sit by that beautiful woman you call an affianced. Stop with your sideways comments.
Well, goodness.
She's giving you the mom look and pointing the finger since you can't see it.
And Taro's covering his face and laughing in
behind
gift
the-
form.
He's behind the screen. So I think we're all pretty loose now, and we've all figured out that we all found the SCA probably about the ripe age of 16 or 17. So that probably says a lot about a lot of things. So we're gonna play a little game now that I like to call Smash, Bash, or Pass, where I would like your opinion on whether or not you would fight said person, have a romantic interlude with said person, or pass. But I'd prefer you fight or have romantic interlude. And we're going to start.
What are the options again? Hold on.
Smash, kissies, bash, fight, pass, which is disrespectful.
Okay.
All right. Smash, pass, or pass. Here we go. It's going to be fun, I promise. So this is a famous one, and I'm not going to say which one
You
it has.
say that.
Smash, bash, or pass.
I would smash that.
I agree.
I would love to fight her. Her Grace is an amazing person to listen to her talk, and I would love to step into the Eric and get my ass kicked in an really instructive and entertaining way, I'm sure.
And she's so gracious about it, right? That's what I hear. I haven't heard from Her Excellency Angarod.
I said smash. It was just there was all three of us saying it about the same
So the
time.
ladies hopped on that so quick. All right, good to know. I'm just going to leave that one there. We're not going to tell Helga she has a fan club. She doesn't watch my show. It's fine. Smash, bash, or pass.
Oh, come on. The problem being is that
His wife scares me.
I would say pass because I don't want to fight him, and he has a wonderful
Right?
wife. And
We're gonna.
and so I would say instead
pretend
have
for
a
this
wonderful
game no one's
conversation
married.
about arts with him. I would like to have a wonderful conversation about arts with him. That's what I would like to do.
again,
Your Grace, we respect you so much. We just want to have a wonderful conversation about arts with you.
I'd like to try and
I
hit
got
him,
to
but,
dance
I-
with them. Can
That's true.
that an
His
option?
Excellency would like to fight him.
again, it's been a while.
But I bet you'd also like to have a wonderful conversation about art with him.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
What I'm hearing is His Excellency is hungry for the stick. Okay. Smash, bash, or pass.
Smash.
Look at
Want
that
to fight
face.
her. I think she's feisty. I think yeah, I think she's feisty.
Look at that face.
It's like she's judging us now.
You're in the danger zone, mister.
Yes.
I have the
Usually.
t-shirt, the tank top, and the cooking apron with that face on it. And I love it so much. I think, yeah, have a wonderful conversation with arts.
Also an option.
Also an option.
Yes.
Smash, bash, or pass.
She looks like she's getting ready to pass trouble. No, there's nothing wrong. Take it.
Loki. Hello.
Also a daughter of Loki.
Uh-huh.
And I believe she's actually already married to one of you.
Yes.
Yes. You forgot your wife. Wow.
No, I did not forget my wife. I was just making sure that like Gavinius hadn't popped on for some reason.
She is the coffee wife of your dreams. I do like that. I do like that picture. She does look mischievous there.
But
There.
we know
As opposed to what?
I think
she's
she.
also truly dangerous being another bard, but I would like to fight her because she gives good instruction that a female can seriously take.
I don't really
because
want to fight anybody. It hurts. So
I want her to help instruct me because she knows through those.
I want to fight
And
her about coffee.
well, that's fair.
I'll have it.
I don't know that I want to fight her because she uses arrows and I don't want to run and try and catch her.
Oh,
God.
Kingdom Bardic champion, my little baby bird. Miss her face oh so much. Smash, bash, or pass.
I want nothing to do with that beak. That bird would tear me apart.
Yes.
So I'm going to answer this one, and I'm going to say hard smash because I've had Runa's cooking. That woman is the most amazing cook, makes a mean drink, is an incredible artist. I'd marry her in a heartbeat, really would.
I absolutely adore her. I think she is incredible.
So
I think
talented.
she's absolutely incredible.
So Alistair and I had it wrong. We're actually focusing on Runa and not the bird.
Oh. You know, the danger. The danger is the first thing that draws the eye. You know.
Right?
And I think that,
Yeah, because
I can't remember that bird's name. Is that Simon? That's Simon. He's mean.
See,
See, Alistair and I had the right call.
they sense the danger. We saw the lovely, lovely, lovely woman. You guys sense.
And we saw the attack bird that says, "Mine, back off."
Exactly.
but
She
if I
makes my
recall
food.
that photo correctly, isn't that from Embers?
Uh,
I think
possibly.
that is because this is my sunshade. That's
Yeah.
my chair. Yeah, that's Embers. Yeah.
Well, if I recall correctly, then that's one of the photos where the petite Tsarina is just arm's length away from the murder bird and getting to be instructed about it. So,
Yeah,
which was great.
my youngest is. I've got a great picture of Katie holding the bird. It's the coolest picture.
She's
The
an
coolest.
amazing falconer.
She's older.
Yeah. I've seen her
Yes.
like cut apart and gut like a chicken for the hawk to eat. Like this lady can just get it. She's amazing. And she has all the cool animals. So yeah.
Yes.
And another bard. So she
She
can
can set up the coursing brain for dogs as well. So
Yep.
she can do the coursing as well.
And a bard of notable skill as well.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Very much.
An incredible bard. Happy to have her in Blatha Nor with us. See, who do we have next? Smash, bash, or pass.
I hosted a class for him, not last weekend, the weekend before. I love Sheamus. He's fantastic. And I could just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk to him.
But that's a hard smash because you always got to smash the Sheamus.
Yeah, no, I remember his
Fair.
elevation to the laurel and that particular ceremony. So that will forever be etched in my mind. And the humors of the day. Yeah, no,
The urine samples.
Yeah, yes, we'll go with that.
Has his Sheamus because I made him a Seamus for his elevation
Yes.
and he kept the marzipan.
Mhm.
I don't know. Those are some haunting, adorable eyes.
Yes.
Cute.
And his hair now is just flowing.
I know. It's like,
I know. It's awesome.
love
Yes.
it.
And,
Do you hear
and the
Sheamus?
intelligence upstairs is great.
He always dresses well. Good dad. Laurel. Come on. Always
All good
especially
things.
about. Now I have to pass on this because this is my brother. This is my Laurel / apprentice family brother.
Yes.
We have the same art mom, so you know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But look at those eyes.
Well, he's got eyeliner on. And eyeliner is awesome on everyone.
Everyone. Also an incredibly talented bard and good person.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sensing a theme here.
The bards are the good-looking
She's
people.
putting pictures of all the bards up.
Oh,
See, oh, I do have another one.
Oh,
I don't know how you say no to that face.
You don't.
You don't.
Get the heart smash from everyone.
I believe the term you're looking for is yes, your grace.
Oh, good Lord. There's nothing you can say. Just everything you can say that's good about her. Just say
Yeah.
it. Oh, God, I have more. Ah,
Oh, well,
this is to make you two uncomfortable.
not uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable. No, I absolutely.
We'll hug him and give him a hard smash that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
your dad's so gross.
But I adore Charles. Absolutely adore Charles.
First, you got to catch him for anything, though, because the man doesn't really sit still very well.
Even on the internet.
Always busy.
Always busy. Those eyes, though, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Born into your soul, and you're like, keep going.
Although it is very strange to see him so monochromatic.
Yeah, this is his dressed down look.
But he is covered in fur. So,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, but so Master Charles, for everyone who doesn't know, was Baroness Angharad's Laurel Guidance daddy. I guess art daddy. Yeah, we'll go with that. And Baroness Deeza's art uncle,
Yes.
as you
I
two.
thought,
Kind of.
I thought he was the Laurel Godfather because
Yes.
because yours is my fairy god Laurel.
Yes. So we were co-parented. So we're
Blended
apprentice.
household.
It's a blended family. So we consider ourselves apprentice sisters.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah.
So there's a familial bond,
Yes, there
and
is.
you were put on vigil together.
Yes, we were.
Yes.
And
They
what was
had
that?
lots of planning that.
Yes. What was that moment like when you were put on vigil at the same time?
Confusing because I turned the corner and I was late to the room. And I turned the corner, Charles grabbed me and pulled me around the corner. And I thought I knew what was happening. And there was Anharat, and she screamed. And I was startled and wasn't quite sure what was happening then at that moment.
And I ditched the king to grab her as I'm hyperventilating because we're being put on vigil together.
It was incredible. It was an incredible moment. But it was confusing in that screaming moment because it was like, wait,
Terrifying.
I think I know what's happening. Yeah, it was great. It was a very genuine moment and it was wonderful.
But you didn't step up at the same event, right? It was May Crown and
No.
July Court, respectively, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
I was working with my modern family because of my brother's cancer, and May Crown just didn't work for them to try and make it at all. And then of course it got worse and he didn't make it anyways. But
Yeah.
it meant that yes, while we're not together, it also made it a lot easier for us to help with each other's elevations.
Yes, because we had 3 elevations happening in the priory at the same. We were all put on vigil at 12th night.
The same 12th night.
Yeah. So
They did use the same vigil chair.
yes, we did use the same vigil chair. It's right over there actually. That vigil chair is now being used for 4 or 5 people. So
I love the vigil chair.
In a motory also, so there's
I love the vigil chair. If I am ever so blessed, please allow me the vigil chair of excellence. I just want to sit there looking impressive. Being impressive.
Guess I should finish it someday.
you should.
Maybe.
It's beautiful how he wants to carve it.
And Her Excellency Sheikh Azara is both an apprentice and a protege,
Yes.
and you're a kingdom herald
Yes.
and a heraldic kingdom officer.
Same thing.
Right. Okay. And a baroness and an overachiever.
No.
No.
I'm just the right amount of achiever. Kind of like Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way.
That's accurate. That's accurate. So how long have you been doing scribal and heraldry, I should say, kind of seriously? How long have you really been delving into that and making it your niche?
In heraldry,
Yeah.
8 years.
Wow. And what do you love about it?
the pageantry that it brings to the SCA. It really helps, in my opinion, to lend to that medieval feel.
Definitely. We appreciate the Herald's book and voice and everything, and everyone who paints, all the scribes. Oh my gosh, the amazing work. I loved what you did actually for Sexy Himbo Sheamus. You did a beautiful scroll for him recently. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I was able to see it, but maybe not everybody has seen that yet.
Well, I just participated in the Kingdom's 48-hour Scrabble Challenge. So everybody is divided into levels, novice, intermediate, and advanced. And then we're all assigned someone who is on the backlog. So if you're a scribe and you're watching this, I encourage you to reach out to the backlog deputy and request a scroll to do, because there are a lot dating back to the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a huge list, and part of the challenge for the 48 hours is just to help get them done. And I was chosen to do the Lion's Heart scroll for the Cutie Laurel of Apothecary Goodness.
Trademark. I may have come up with that nickname.
And it was challenging and fun. I am a novice scribe. My calligraphic hand is generally pseudo-Arabic, so branching into something that wasn't was
Terrifying.
fun. Terrifying. And then just the painting, I couldn't find my gouache paints, so I ended up having to use my period pigments that are not my strong suit. But I think that it turned out well. And he said he likes it, so there we go. And if I get around to it, I'll create the backup one that I had talked to Maminka about.
Well, before we hear about the backup one, because I feel like that we want to bury that lead just a little bit. Can you tell us how you made Sheamus's look for the viewer? What the theme of it was?
The goal is, because he's such an amazing researcher into the apothecaries of Henry VIII, that I wanted to make it look like it was a page out of an apothecary's journal. So the wording was a variation of a recipe, and I pulled in ideas from his awards that he's received, like the Barberry and the Grace, all sorts of fun things. I feel that it's really nice.
So when looking at it, it looks like a page out of an apothecary book with the recipe for how to create the Cutie Laurel of Apothecary Goodness.
That's fantastic.
That's the hope behind it. He'll have to let me know later if it translates.
I saw it on your blog and I thought it made automatic sense to me, but I'm tutor period and I geek out, and I've spoken to Sheamus before about his art, and I actually shared with him like the first Scottish medicine book, so I got it right away. It was pretty obvious to me that it was a recipe for how to cook a Sheamus. I thought it was funny. Shut up, Alistair. Baroness Ankarat, you're known to be in heraldry and scribal and archery and fighting and kind of everything. I think you've done everything there is to do, yes?
Not quite, but I've been playing for 39 years. So yes, I've done a little of this and a little of that and a lot of this. And I keep going back to some of them because I enjoy them as my health permits.
Right. Is there any one or two or three, or, what would you say are your core arts or your core likes or loves when you're in the SCA? What do you really like to focus in on?
Well, the ones that are easiest and most people see me doing is, of course, anything with the textiles that I'm wearing or other people are wearing, or horses or other and fighters are wearing, or I started off as a book herald for Blatha, and when I stepped up to become the baronial herald, it was like, who's that? Oh, who's on her? Oh, that's the one with the red and black griffin gown. Oh, and before the year was over, they didn't remember that I did book heraldry. They only knew me for doing voice and court heraldry, which was kind of interesting, since I was doing Toastmasters to try and get over the stage fright of talking in front of people.
You've done well.
You're doing well tonight.
Can't see the shaking because the hands are below the screen.
The bonus of online.
Staging.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything from below here, right? None of us are wearing pants. It's just under bust and below. You don't know what's happening down there. Who knows?
We all got very quiet.
Sorry, I'm just getting a drink. Nope, gotta match the hand. There we go. So, and we've spoken with Your Excellency Alistair and Your Excellency Adisa before, and you've kind of told us about your journeys, but I don't know, did we get very much? We did get into the woodworking that His Excellency does. I think we talked about your bentwood boxes, and you're very well known for that, and for your cups and your mugs. And are you working on anything particular right now?
Classes. Lots and lots of classes. So actually at the moment I've started playing around with blacksmithing a bit too.
Oh.
So I made my first oddly shaped attempt at hinges based off of the Mastemere style hinges for some boxes, and to go with an upcoming class this coming weekend, in fact.
This
So,
Sunday at 2:00.
yeah,
Sunday at 2 o'clock.
faster.
That's
I suddenly
exciting.
just heard
Here?
an announcer, Sunday at 2:00.
Every Sunday, right?
You know,
Woodworking like a monster.
not every Sunday, just
No.
usually once a month. I leave room for other people to get out there and, you know, and spread their geek. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have Glymm Mere has a class event coming up, I believe, is Lyceum?
Yes. We have actually, I don't know if we're going to have classes. The big thing that's happening is we are choosing our new arts and sciences and Bardic champions. At Lyceum, it's April 17th. And it's going to be fantastic. And anyone who's interested in entering still has time.
Till the end of February.
Till the end of February. So if anyone's interested, all you bards that watch this show.
And
And
because
artists.
it's virtual, you don't have to live in Glymm Mere, right? You can be in Aquaterra and try
You
out.
never have to live. Yeah. Absolutely. You can live, and that's always
We would
been.
prefer you to be in this kingdom, but we might be flexible about that.
We're flexible. It's 2021. Yeah. I lost track
Yes.
of year.
I don't know what year it is.
I don't know anymore. I live in this box called Zoom. I don't know.
So much Zoom. So much Zoom.
Baroness Angharad, you have an event coming up. Is it Celtic Bardic in March?
Yep, virtually Celtic Bardic is March 20th. So we're having fun with that. Kat Generis is working on finding some different recipes so that people can make something and enjoy it at the same time. She has some people who are willing to do some classes, some demos, and is accepting people who wish to perform. The sergeants were encouraged to do so because if 5 of them agree to participate and do a Bardic presentation, I will do one. If 3 of them teach a class, not 3 of them together, but 3 different classes, I will teach, which shows I love them because I don't like doing things on the camera. I don't do as well without the people there.
We're all
Do they have to be your sergeants or just sergeants in general?
Oh,
You don't get to stack the decks, sorry.
I'm trying to help.
I'm sure some of our sergeants would be more than happy to perform.
You've already got one of them.
And Her Excellency Sheikh Azar bint Al Rahmah, my girl crush, do you have any exciting events or anything coming up of a social perhaps, or perhaps a beer with the Baron event is coming up?
We actually are having many socials. We have a late night social for those night owls tomorrow. Oh, well, I don't know when this is going to air, on the 20th. So that's going to be gone. But yes, there are beers with the Baron. Virtually does not have to be beer, can be the drink of your choice. March 13th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm still working. I don't get to do that.
It's a Saturday.
Nope. Unfortunately, yeah,
Aw.
not this time.
But yes, beers with the Baron, March 13th, 4 p.m.
And you've been ongoing the tea with the Baroness, I know, for quite some time now. I've dropped into a few of those.
Almost a year now.
Yeah. And what's great is when she does them, sometimes she asks you themed questions to get conversation starting, and that's never painful.
I'll stick with sewing nights.
Yeah, we have our socials. Yeah.
Yes, but do you ever ask the people at your social what their superpower is?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. We should maybe ask on Monday.
We have rarely had a problem getting people to start talking.
That's true.
Usually it's more a matter of, okay, we got to go to bed now, guys. We need to shut this off.
That's true. We had to actually do His Excellency actually said, okay, we need to do an end to time because they were going until 10, 11, at least, and it's a Monday. So, we do it from 7 to 9 on Mondays. So
7 to 10. So, yep.
Bards are even worse. There, I was running the virtual bardic circle for Ithra in September, and I bowed out around 10:30, and I think it was going on till 4 or 5 in the morning where people like in Europe were joining in the morning. It was still going on.
Yep, that sounds like a bardic.
Yep. Good old fashioned bardic. Well, I've really enjoyed having you all here. Thank you for being my first interview back since, I don't even know, since the holidays when I took a break because it was the holidays and my brain was exploding from work. And we're all back now. And you are my first in my series of interviews of Barons and Baronesses of Ontier. So thank you so much. I appreciate having you here. I don't want to tell anybody you're my favorites, but you're my favorites.
I think you say that to all the boys and girls, though, wearing coronets.
Really, because we're her first, and that always holds a special place in her heart.
It's true. It's even more special than the time the Baroness ran into the bathroom at May Crown, handed me her coronet, said, "Here, hold this," and ran into the stall. And I was like, okay, I'm holding the coronet. Don't drop it. She didn't even know who I was. Just
pride retinue, just poof.
Retinue is a thing, yes.
Hold the coronet. So I hope to be there for all of you one day outside a bathroom. And I love you all very much and miss you, of course.
I miss you too.
Do we have any parting words for the people of Ontier? Any wisdoms from you all?
To all of the other landed baronesses and barons, I would say it's not really that painful. The more of you that are there, the less individually you'll get harpooned on the thing. So, come gather, join,
Please?
It's only a little bit of peril.
It's not that painful. And if you come on the show, you can help me make fun of the king. So there's that.
There you go.
That's either a bonus or a deterrent, and I'm not certain which it is.
Well, maybe they can help decide to rabble rouse in the hopes of being able to have wars between other baronies once we can meet again.
I think we should start a war. I think we should take Honey War and Autumn War and make one big week-long event. Massive war. But that's just my 2 cents.
I might have had some
Next
thought.
closet, once we can open up, we can find out when things can happen.
That's true. There definitely need to be continuations of conversations that we've all had together in the past.
We're a fairly peaceful barony of primarily artisans and entertainers, though. So we would definitely need to reach out to some of our other cousins and
But we have incredible
garner
archers.
support.
Mm-hmm.
Shh.
Well, Adiantum still has that challenge that they need to fill up because our young champion, our shield, was battling their less experienced defender at Ursulmus last year. And there was a bet between my co-coronet and the Baroness of Aniatum. And well, I am proud to say that ours won. And we were going to have that follow up, but then the plague rescued them from having to pay up.
I don't think that that's how that went down. I'm pretty certain that your co-coronet tried to pull something over on my sweetest cousin Ayla.
Not from what I heard from Ayla.
Well, interestingly, Ayla's going to be on the show, so I'm going to have to ask her about this.
We're just down here being very well behaved.
It's really weird that, our cousins from farther north in the kingdom seems to be more instigating, while all the wars seem to happen on us that are more towards the south and the central. It's a funny thing that war neither seems to darken their doorstep so much.
Alistair, are you insinuating that I am doing something nefarious or evil?
Never. I would never insinuate such a thing.
He might state it flat out.
See the earlier comment about not getting caught.
There are reasons why most of us don't have woes. We don't get caught.
Is there a woe here?
No.
Yeah. Woes.
I won't let them within 10 feet of my show.
We are woe free.
We are woe free. Woe is me. And with that, we'll say good night. Good night, Untier. We'll see you soon. If not in our dreams, from all of us at Bard tonight, and these 4 chuckleheads here.
Yep.
So here's a fun little thing that happened the last time I talked to Baroness Disa and Baron Alistair, and I blame them. My Zoom account is telling me we have 1 minute, so I've got to close you all out and send you a new invite.
Oh no.
This happened last time I had you 2 on because you spend so much time talking.
No, that's not true because we used my account.
Last time, but then remember it switched visuals.
Oh, right.
So let me call you back.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Say goodbye, Katie.
Bye.
Hi, Katie.
I hope she enjoys her eggs.
I will.
Oh, come on. You knew I'm going to do the goodnight Gracie type concept.
Yes.
You had hers before.
I am such a trendsetter.
Normally we have a banner on the wall behind us, but we shifted over a couple of feet and the hook's in the wrong spot now.
Yeah.
Well, I
And I was too
appreciate
lazy.
the addition of the heraldry. Thank you, everyone.
I was just too lazy to move the hook.
That sounds about right. But you're here and we appreciate that.